G'day, day 6 of our Camino to Santiago. We left Najera today to walk to Gran. But before I talk about the walk, I just want to make mention of an excursion that James and I took last time that we were here. 20 kilometers out, we walked. We took an extra day in Najera and walked out to the Yuso and Suso monasteries, about 20 kilometers out of Gran. It's worth walking out there or taking a cab or bus, because these are just so historic and amazing. In fact, the monastery of Suso was really established in about the 6th century when Milan, who was a shepherd, left his flock and came and found this particular cave where Suso Monastery now is. And he really developed the contemplative way of prayer and living. Various others came and joined him when he died. They eventually, not enshrined, but covered his cave and built a very simple monastery there, the Suso. That was quite significant. It's been through 3 different modifications since then. But something very important is that the Benedictine monks who came to live there actually codexed the Spanish and Basque languages there at the turn of the first millennium. They wrote them down in Latin to codex them and to establish Spanish and the Basque language as official languages. In fact, this is the history of the church's influence throughout Europe and throughout the world, for that matter, because language after language after language was actually codexed and officially set out by monks who did that laborious work based on Latin. Yuso monastery was built about the turn of the millennium as well, and it's quite magnificent. A Benedictine monastery, well worth having a look. Anyway, yes, you'll be amazed if you go out there. Well, back on to today. What a day. We set out again with blue skies, and it was just quite a pleasant walk, first of all, out of Najera. As we walked, I was just so thankful for this gentle breeze that just was caressing my face. And I thought, how wonderful is this? Not realizing that this gentle breeze was the vanguard to an horrendous windstorm that picked up through the day. Matter of fact, we were walking through 60 to 70 kilometer winds, and they were headwinds. We were heading into them. By the time that we arrived here at Gran, some 28 kilometers later, we were just absolutely tired. We'd had it. The last 2 kilometers, I was feeling even sick. I've got to push up. I've got to get there, which is all part of Camino, I guess. So we walked through a couple of towns along the way, the most significant of which was Santo Domingo. And there's a beautiful convent there where we stayed last time. And the nuns served just the most nutritious home-cooked meals. But we didn't stay there today. We actually ended up taking shelter in Santo Domingo because of the fact that it was a rain squall blew up as we walked into the town. Interestingly enough, I walked with a Japanese guy into the town. His name was Tetsu, and as we talked, he too was 74 years of age. He mentioned something of a guy from Poland who was doing this walk, and I couldn't help but wonder if that was not Joshua, who we met on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday with the captain. Joshua had walked from Poland. He is English, German, sorry, but had wanted to walk as far as he could from Santiago to Santiago. He would have chosen Russia apart from the war, so Poland was the closest place, and he and his dog Captain, the captain, were, yes, set out on this walk. Now, we haven't seen them since Wednesday, but we are hoping to catch up with Joshua again. They're just a couple of people. Tetsu, my Japanese acquaintance now, was struggling as well in the wind. He was being, as I came up to pass him, he was just literally being blown from one side of the road to the other, as indeed I was too. Well, we took that quarter of an hour, half an hour, I suppose, in Santo Domingo in order to just find respite from the rain squall. But blue skies reappeared, and we had another 6 kilometres to move on to Gran. So we set out again in wind across the quite significant Santo Domingo Bridge, which is one of 7 arches, or yes, worthwhile going off the track, going down and having a look at. But we pushed over that and up the hill, more hills, towards Gran. There's a particular hill there that's just outside of Gran, which is a dome, and significant. Anyway, as we pushed up, just adjacent to that dome hill is a huge iron or steel cross that has been placed into the into a little memorial area there. Now, the story behind that goes back centuries, because the people of Santo Domingo and Gran had been having quite major scuffles, real battles over a particular area of land. Each claimed this area of land for farming, rich pasture, belonged to them. And so there were these battles over it. It was decided that after much warfare, that they should work it out via the judgment of God method, which was selecting 2 representatives, a representative from each town, to battle it out. And the winner, the one who prevailed over the other, would be would claim that land for their town. So Santo Domingo sent in their particular man. He was a bodybuilder and had quite a diet of healthy food and so forth. The Gran sent in their man, Martin, can't remember his surname, but they sent him in, and he was just a humble farmer and who had lived on a diet of red kidney beans. The Santo Domingo guy had covered himself. Obviously, it was a naked battle, as it were, wrestle, and he'd covered himself in oil so that Martin couldn't grab hold of him. However, and Martin being just a much more lean character without the muscle, as these things work out, David and Goliath, even though the Santo Domingo guy was so big and was using particular techniques to win, it was Martin who prevailed. And I'm not sure whether the sentiment, I think he was actually killed. But the point is that Martin was secured the land for Gran, and they placed a cross there that's since been renewed. But isn't it as the cross of bravery? It's called. Isn't it? And as also a sign of reconciliation. This was worked out via the judgment of God method, this particular wrestle between two representatives from each town, or a representative from each town, the judgment of God. Isn't it interesting that the cross, and there it is for every pilgrim to pass by this huge cross ascending the hill to Gran. Yes, we give thanks to the Lord for how it is that he brought reconciliation to us through the cross. Well, we continued on from there. We were going to do this video outside, beneath the cross. How appropriate would that have been? We weren't in the hunt. The wind just blew continuously. So we pushed on, as I said, like just through this wind. I was literally sick to the stomach. We had trouble even being able to breathe in the strength of the wind. But finally we made it here to Gran. We are settled here for the night. You probably can't hear it, but the wind is just blowing even onto the roof of the room where we are here. We are looking forward to tomorrow, praying that the wind will have abated. If it hasn't, I doubt that we can make the 28 kilometres ahead of us. That's today's report. The spiritual reflection was to do with Jeremiah 4, the Ignatian exercise 5 that we looked at. And it was really, again, just being secured in the love of God and the call of God. And Jeremiah, God said to Jeremiah, just listen to me. And what do you see, Jeremiah? I see an almond branch. And he said, yes. This almond branch symbolic of my word, which will go forth and will be achieved. What else do you see? Jeremiah's mentioned about a kettle of boiling water being poured from the north. And that was to do with judgment coming upon Israel. But God said, I will make you a battlement of iron, of brass, and that you will stand and people will come against you, but they will not prevail. You will speak my word. That was our meditation. And so today, we reflected on how it is that really speaks into us. Again, Jeremiah being born for such a time as that. And so we reflected today about, wow, here we are at this particular time. What is it that God is calling us to do? What is it that God is calling you to do? Because you too were born in the fullness of time according to his design. God bless you. See you tomorrow.